This is the new Galaxy S25 Ultra, Samsung's latest update to their top shelf special reserve phone, and we gotta talk about it. Now, I think it's important to start by saying definitively, this is a good phone. It's stacked with everything you could possibly ask for when it comes to smartphone DNA, and it delivers a phenomenal user experience that, depending on what phone you're coming from, could bring you a ton of joy. Now, the last statement is critical here, as the main issue with the S25 Ultra in a nutshell is that it's such an iterative update to basically the two generations behind it. So if you're already on a relatively newer Samsung device, it's possible that the Ultra isn't feeling so Ultra anymore. Moreover, it could be argued that this device is actually taking steps back from what has made the Ultra so popular up to this point, as certain decisions by Samsung have left a lot of consumers scratching their heads. Well, I've been using the S25 Ultra for about a week now, going through everything that this phone has to offer, all to put together a video that hopefully will help you decide whether or not the S25 Ultra is the right phone for you. Hey, it's Jason. I make videos on popular tech to help make sure that you're as informed as possible before you buy something. If you find this video helpful, please do me a favor and press the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And before you guys ask, if you guys want the wallpapers from this phone, make sure to subscribe to the JSL newsletter. I send subscribers out a brand new full-res wallpaper every week, as well as really good tech deals and interesting articles written by yours truly. It's totally free. Link to subscribe will be in the description down below. Okay, first, let's talk about design and form factor. The Galaxy S25 Ultra still maintains its XL size, as the dimensions for this phone mirrors the Ultras of the past. It's not a complete duplicate of last year, however, as Samsung decided to round out the corners on the S25, finally sunsetting the sharp boxy corners Samsung has used since introducing the Galaxy Note many years ago. They also completely flattened out the frame across the entirety of the phone, making for a more uniform, clean look that is still able to comfortably have the slot at the bottom for the signature S Pen. The frame is still made out of titanium and it looks great, and I went with their new jade green colorway, and I think it's okay. I wish it was a bit more saturated, but it's not a bad execution. Turn the phone around and you get even a larger display than before, now coming in at a pretty insane 6.9 inches. Samsung was able to accomplish this by reducing the bezel to almost nothing, and it has to be one of the most immersive displays that you can get on a phone to date. It's a Quad HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display with the peak brightness of 2600 nits, and something I'm really glad that they brought back is the anti-glare frosted finish. It's such an underrated feature. As far as the camera layout, you get the same setup as before with this free-floating design and minimal branding on the back. My overall take on the S25 Ultra's form factor is that it's actually a lot more updated than what I originally thought. The flattening out of the frame and the rounding of the corners makes this phone look and feel noticeably different to last year's model in my opinion. But here's my one gripe with it. To me, the Ultra always tried to adopt a stand-apart, swing-for-the-fences design, and even though I think this updated form factor is refined and good-looking, it's starting to look like just a pro version of their non-Ultra lineup. And I know some people won't care, but I kinda like the way the Ultra was different from the pack, and I can understand why some folks may not be happy about the Ultra giving off more of a Pro Max type of vibe. So ultimately, I think it's a great looking phone that is no doubt extremely well put together, but it may have lost some of that Ultra flair that many of us have come to love. Now you may be thinking to yourself, the S25 Ultra, it's made out of titanium, it's built like a tank, no need to worry about protection, right? No, this thing is mad fragile, and the last thing that you want is your $1,300 phone cracking on you if and when it slips out of your pocket. And dude, I partnered with PITAKA on this video because they have a case for the S25 Ultra that is probably one of the coolest and smartest cases I've ever experienced. This is their pin button case. It's made out of PITAKA's signature woven military grade arm red fiber, making this one of the most durable cases out there, but still lightweight and very thin. It provides all-around protection for the S25 Ultra with this soft Napa leather lining on the inside that ensures the back of your phone doesn't get any scratches, and a subtle bezel that keeps the screen safe from face-down falls. It has precise cutouts for each of the cameras on the back, which I love, and built-in MagSafe magnets, which is great if you use a lot of MagSafe accessories like I do. But by far the coolest thing about the pin button case is that it has 3 buttons on the side here, and you can actually map these buttons to conduct a specific action or access an app that you want in an instant. All you have to do is go into your settings and search for modes and routines. From there, select the routines at the bottom and then click on the plus sign at the top to create a new routine. And then click on the Add What Will Trigger This Routine button over here, and you're gonna want to search for NFC tag. From there, just hold down one of the buttons that you're trying to program and you can name it however you'd like, and I'm gonna select it to open up an application for this one. I'm gonna choose Open YouTube because I'm addicted to YouTube. I'm gonna click on Done and Save, and voila, every time I hold down this button, it will open up YouTube in an instant. This has gotta be one of the smartest things that I've seen on any case, period. It's such a useful addition that feels so organic to use. You can get quite creative on how you want these buttons mapped, and I love that PITAKA cares just as much about functionality for their users as they do protection. If you guys are interested in learning more about the pin button case for the S25 Ultra or any other of PITAKA's popular cases, use the links that are in the description down below. Get the protection and added benefits that you deserve. Check out PITAKA today. Okay, let's get into the performance and key features of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. This phone is now equipped with Qualcomm's latest flagship mobile processor, the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, and 12GB of RAM. With the chipset this powerful, normal day-to-day use for this phone is an absolute walk in the park. Navigating around One UI is super buttery smooth. The operating system seems better optimized than previous versions, elevated by the very well executed 120Hz variable refresh rate, and everything is snappy and ultra precise. Now with this increase in power, you get access to all of Samsung's new Galaxy AI features. I do like how you get direct access to Gemini when you long press the home button. Now Gemini is by far my favorite AI voice assistant, and it's kind of cool how it can talk with Bixby to execute more on-device actions. So you can ask Gemini when a particular event is, and Bixby will then add it to your calendar with this integrated AI support. The new Now Brief and Now Bar are nice additions to the OS as they have potential to elevate the user experience, but you can kind of feel like they're still in their infancy stage, so I'm hoping that these features get more advanced as they get to know me. Now you get the same ultrasonic in-display fingerprint reader that still performs great, super fast and easy to use. This is probably the best phone for mobile gamers as you get more than enough horsepower to smoothly run all your games, made only better by the great performance of the display itself. And this phone comes with a pretty beefy 5000 mAh battery, and 1 week later it's been kind of crushing it with the battery life. I could easily get through a day and a half of moderate use if I start the day on a full charge, which is really convenient. But let's talk about the S Pen for a second. This is by far the most unique feature that the Ultra has because it provides a physical stylus for you to write with, something that almost no other phone has. And as far as the writing capability, it still works really well. It's a very organic writing experience, and though I continue to not ever really use it, I'm glad that it's still there. Now Samsung did make the decision to remove the Bluetooth capability from the S Pen, which used to allow users to use the S Pen for things like gesture controls or as a portable shutter for the camera. Now Samsung claimed less than 1% of users were actually using these features, but it is a bit disappointing that the S Pen is not as advanced as before. But let's get into probably the most enjoyable part of the S25 Ultra up to this point, and that's the phone's camera quality. When it comes to still images, Samsung continues to go with the pleasing, albeit a bit more stylized picture profile that makes the photos come off punchy and vibrant. With the array of cameras on the back, you get max flexibility as you can punch in optically at up to 10 times zoom and get Samsung's insane digital zoom all the way to 100x. You do get an upgraded ultra-wide camera now with the 50 megapixel sensor, and it's made taking macro shots a lot better than before, which is a nice addition. Now the thing about the cameras that has impressed me the most so far is the video mode, mainly because of the pro video settings that you have access to, the main one being the ability to shoot in log format. Log footage shoots in a flat profile but with the most data, which allows you to edit the video in post. It's a super nerdy feature that 99% of people will probably never use because it requires you to know how to color grade to a certain degree, but it does make using the Galaxy S25 Ultra for video a lot more enticing. And given how important video has become in terms of how we share and communicate, it's encouraging to see Samsung stepping up in this area of performance. And that brings me to my final thoughts on this phone, and it's a little bit more complicated than I originally thought it was going to be. On one hand, there's no denying that this is a very iterative update from last year. The S24 Ultra is still such a capable device, and it still has that bold presence that I think a lot of people enjoy. But I would definitely recommend the S25 Ultra to anyone who's on an older device and has been waiting for a good one to come out. This phone again is objectively great. It does everything really well, and I feel as though this new look, even though it's a lot more tame, is gonna catch on over time. Now, the only thing that makes me want to not recommend it is the price, especially when the regular Galaxy S25s are available and do so much of what the Ultra can do. I'll be coming out with a review on this guy soon, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And let me know what you guys think about the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Do you think it's a worthwhile upgrade? Or do you think it's a poor showing by Samsung? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And in case you guys are still shopping around, make sure to check out my review for the iPhone 16 Pro and the new Google Pixel 9 Pro to help make sure that you're as informed as possible.